4 with host Greg Gumbel and co-host Ahmad Rashad.
AFC West rivals, the Denver Broncos and the San Diego Chargers, meet at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego today. Both teams are 2-1. The best quarterback in football's most competitive division hopes to repeat last week's miracle finish when the Broncos beat the Redskins on the last play of the game. Another great matchup in Cleveland. The undefeated Kansas City Chiefs take on the 2-1 Browns in the dog pound. James Hasty has finally caught his breath after last week's interception return in overtime, beat the Oakland Raiders.
Tells you how sorry my life has become, so it's been a little rough. Paul, good to see you again today. You look good.
It's not good to see. I've been with this guy. I've seen him more this week than I've seen my wife. That's why I'm at this end of the table. I don't even want to be near him.
These guys are sick. If he thinks he looks good, I must really look good.
It's going to be a good day. We'll start with the AFC West matchup in San Diego between the Broncos and the Chargers. We know John Elway is healthy, but a lot of the Broncos are banged up on offense. For the latest, we go to Randy Cross. Randy?
Well, thanks, Greg. You know, that big comeback you talked about last week, Denver against Washington, came at a big price for John Elway's offense. First of all, his center, Tom Nalen, he is out. Ralph Tam will be at center. Tam's been the only guy all week long that's taken any snaps. That could be critical if Tam goes down. At fullback, Rod Bernstein will be out. He'll be replaced by Aaron Craver. At tight end now, Shannon Sharp is going to play, but only in spots, probably third down. He's replaced by Jerry Evans. From the positive standpoint, let's talk about Michael Dean Perry, one of the best defensive tackles in football. He bolsters the run defense. He improves the pass rush. He is critical for the Denver Broncos. From the San Diego Chargers standpoint, they're talking about the red zone offense. And the best defense for San Diego, really in general, is going to be Natron Means blasting the ball. But specifically when they get in the red zone, that's how they get down there. They need to finish these drives off with that running game. That's the story from San Diego. Back to you, Greg.
All right, Randy, thanks very much. Mike, you feel Denver is a much better football team this year?
Well, I do. I really think they're good. I think everybody understands they're a good football team because of John Elway.
He got it! Broncos win!
Fourth quarter, and I ended up throwing a touchdown pass to Gerald Wilhite with 44 seconds to go.
Huddle up, huddle up! Come on, Bobby, set a huddle, let's go!
What happens to you when you're behind in the fourth quarter? Is it just all so familiar that it's commonplace?
For some reason, it seems things become much more clear in that situation than they do when you're worrying about other things when you know you got a lot more time.
Come on, Johnny! Touchdown, Mark Jackson!
Cleveland drive was, for John, the real coming out party. That's what made John's career.
John, this week we went around the National Football League and we asked dozens of players what they thought about you. What do you think they thought of John Elway?
I hope they would think that I'm a great competitor.
He's a tough competitor. The guy is so competitive.
I do anything to win, and I'm going to fight you tooth and nail.
You know, I hate to pass rush a guy that I can't outrun.
You may be beating me up for 58 minutes.
I've drilled John. He's got up and smiled at me, you know, like, come on.
I think he's a man's man and a pro's pro. If ever the opportunity presented itself, I would want John Elway to be on my team.
Of course, we're talking about a future Hall of Famer.
You've had 5 knee operations. Can the knee hold up? Are you going to have a replacement? And how much longer can you play?
You know, who knows what's going to happen down the line. But I think that, you know, my knee hasn't bothered me at all this year, and I can still move around. Sure, I'm a step slower than I was when I was 25, but I think everybody else is a step faster also. But as long as I can stay, you know, physically healthy, I don't want to walk away from this game with a cane. I want to walk away healthy.
Are you the kind of guy who'd step away from the game a year too soon or a year too late?
Boy, that's hard to say. If anything, I would probably be the guy that stepped away too soon. Physically, I think that it's getting close to where I can't avoid taking some big hits.
All right, thanks, Greg. Now, Phil, one of the great things being a receiver playing with a guy like that, because of his mobility, it gives you a chance to get open on a route. And because of his strong arm,
isn't in the business of travel at all. We're really in the business of satisfying people's dreams. You go to university, you grow as a person. I believe travel important as university. I think the American Express card gives one the confidence and the security to go to the farthest corners of the globe. Everybody knows the card, so it's just part of the culture.
Is everybody using Duracell batteries?
No kidding. The second I heard you can't buy a longer-lasting battery, I bought the family a whole case.
Reminds me of the first time we tried Duracell batteries. We were living in Tulsa with your great Aunt Emma. We slip her one of those other kinds of batteries?
Me?
You can't top the copper top.
Take the heat out of shaving with new Old Spice Soothing Gel. It'll cool the burn, soothe your skin, it'll make your face feel great. Or call 1-800-PROVE-IT for a full refund. So try new Soothing Gel, because now you've got proof. Guaranteed.
In the Stanley Laboratories, we find out just how good our decorative mirror doors are by opening and closing them over 100,000 times. Funny, isn't that the same way you do it? Decorative mirror doors from Stanley.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Canon, a world leader in office equipment. By UPS, the official package delivery company of the NFL. And by Mobil Motor Oil. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
Another of our big games today is at Cleveland Stadium between the Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Browns have won 2 straight after dropping the opener in a heartbreaker to New England. The Chiefs are looking to go 4-0 for the first time ever. Bob Golick has more from the Dog Pound.
Well, thanks, Ahmad. Well, I'm standing here in front of the Dog Pound, and to be perfectly honest, it's a lot closer than I've ever wanted to be, even when I had a uniform on. But it is the 10th anniversary of the Dog Pound, and they have been a big supporter of the defense, the team, and it really has been a rallying point for the city of Cleveland over the last 10 years. Now, one of the issues over the last few weeks, ever since the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame concert, has been the condition of the fields. Well, league officials have been here this week, and they said, the field looks pretty good. Well, I've been on this before. We'll have to watch the progress as the game goes on. We'll see how the field starts to turn up a little bit. Now, last night we had a chance to talk to Neil Smith, and after a big game like Oakland's game last week where they won, emotionally it's very difficult for these guys to stay up, and he personally said that he felt emotionally drained. Well, he noticed that in some of his teammates and decided he was going to get in a meeting with these guys on Thursday and personally challenge these guys to all step up and start to make a play. Now, on the other side of the ball, we got Coach Bill Belichick, the head coach, who is being directed to be, is now directing the defense for the Cleveland Browns. Well, last week against the Houston Oilers, it was safety blitz after safety blitz after safety blitz. Well, we'll see today if Bill Belichick's aggressive defensive trends continue. Well, and while you guys go back and enjoy yourself in the studio there, I'm going to hang here and have a little lunch in the Dog Pound. They made me eat it. This is sick, man.
Bob Golick obviously at home right there in the Dog Pound. After Miami, the Cleveland Browns have allowed the fewest points in the NFL this season, just 10 points a game. 2 of the reasons for that are linebackers Carl Banks and Pepper Johnson. Once mainstays under Bill Belichick in New York, they brought a winning attitude with them to Cleveland.
One time a week you get a chance to do your thing, and it's the most exciting thing right now for me.
I can't pass up Sundays, for anything. I love playing on Sundays.
You come basically from the same background. You tend to know how to play off of one another. And, this guy is such an improviser anyway. It's, if I make a mistake, he covers for it. Or if there's a little eye contact going on or something, we just make it happen.
When you work with a guy so much, and like we're like brothers, and I grew up with each other, that I know Carl has my back, and I know it's not a doubt in his mind that I have his back.
You had some great years with the Giants, great defensive teams. Can you compare that defensive team with this one?
Without a doubt. I think the edge goes to this team because we have strength at a lot of positions, whereas with the Giants, we had great players at some positions, we had some good players, and then we had some guys that
cover-up guys.
Were cover-up guys.
It's important when you're trying to reach a goal to have somebody that's already been there. That's the role that you guys play on this team.
Yeah, but for a group that's very talented, they don't want to hear about the heydays. You just want to tell them, what you need to do. You need to raise your level. You don't want to go into the song and dance about, well, back in '84 or back in '89 we did this. You don't want to hear that. Now you just have to say, okay, you're doing this, but in order for us to be better, you're going to have to take it up this level because this is what's going to make you a champion. They appreciate that more than hearing, these war stories, which, they have films and they have Nintendo and all that, so they played us before,
We're bringing that that NFC mentality over here in the AFC. Some teams are like, to us, we look at it as chicken feed. You know, we supposed to beat up on these guys, and teams I've never lost to in the past, it's like, what is everybody walking around all tense and tight about? I know we're going to beat up on these guys. And they see that. When Carl was talking about that leadership role, they see that in us, and then it kind of carries over.
And plus, you guys get to do it together.
That's what it's all about, man. We keep going, and, you know, it's that mentality. We're having fun, and, you know, you just can't count us old guys out. We're still moving around pretty good.
Yeah.
Phil, one shocking comment when they said that the defense they have there now in Cleveland is better than the defense you had in those with the Giants in the Super Bowl years?
Well, I can't believe that, because the Giant defense, let's don't forget, they had a guy named Lawrence Taylor who could dominate games and make plays and turn it around. The Cleveland Browns really don't have that on defense, but one thing they have, a good solid 11, no weaknesses, and they truly have a defense when it says it bends but doesn't break.
Season, the Steelers had the fewest turnovers in the league. This year, they have the most, Mike, and Minnesota scored 27 points off turnovers today.
Well, you know, last year, Mike Tomczak
with his weekly news and notes. As we take a break, a look at Eric Metcalf of the Atlanta Falcons, who take on the Jets. Kickoff about 15 minutes away.
When a traffic jam was two cars in the same van. In the first space shuttle, 25 years.
Or maybe you'd just like to save 15% on that altimeter.
If you're looking for a...
Thanks, Greg. Well, the National Football League last Sunday against San Francisco, separated shoulders.
You can't tell me. The reason he could play in that San Francisco game is one reason: adrenaline. He was hot. He was pumped up. He wanted to play against the world champions. He couldn't have played. That's a separated shoulder. I don't care if it's his left one, his right one, his knee, what. You cannot play with that injury and play as effectively as you could normally. So I would not put him in there if he's not well.
What about you, Paul?
Well, yeah, we were doing a game, Phil and I. The thing about the word we got on, the doctor said that, you know, you can't hurt it anymore. I mean, how does he know? It's at the doctor's shoulder, Micah. But you put the guy in the game. Obviously, he did.
Especially at the following week, and I agree with the decision to keep him in the game.
All right, gentlemen.
8 a.m. from Business.
2. It's the right our cream and onion. Now more flavor on
$19.99 and save 25.
It's a force to drive a staple flush. Our competitor's model requires just a bit more. The sharpshooter, only from Stanley.
Want a chance to take your family to Super Bowl 30?
Look in your Sunday paper, October the 1st, for the NFL America's Favorite.
This week's
I'm rolling. I happen to be the expert here.
I'm hurt. I'm hurt.
How come?
Owning my own business.
Nothing like that feeling.
And it's a great
business. Every day and every dollar has to count.
Have your own business. I enjoy it.
So consider the American Express corporate card for small business. It offers real value, like savings on hotels, car rentals, and UPS overnight shipping. 3% off gasoline at Mobil. Even accident disability insurance at no extra cost. To apply, watch your mail for your application or call 1-800-835-AMEX.
The best card to have.
No, my plane's stuck somewhere back
The flight has been canceled. The 5 most hated words of every business traveler. On a day like this, I know it's not the airline's fault. Still, I just want somebody to give me some answers.
Especially if we can reroute you through another city.
Those are the people I come back to. They try and find a way and give me my best option, maybe even on another airline. I appreciate that, because a little honesty goes a long way. Tell Billy by halftime, I'll be there.
Complete Cowboy Cardinal coverage tonight on Sports Extra.